So, was this whole movie just a really creepy, stocky ex-boyfriend? I'm Jackie.
I once called out Jack in the Box in the mirror 5 times, and it gave me diarrhea. I'm Justin.
5 times? Really? That's excessive. I'm Sam, and this is 1992's Candyman on Stinker Madness.
Hello, welcome to Stinker Madness, the podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. This week on the show, the Candyman Can, that famous fun time movie starring Sammy Davis Jr. prances around and says, babe, don't get murdered by looking in the mirror or something. I don't know what this movie's about. Sam, it's your pick. Why are we doing Candyman?
Because they just re-released it.
Yeah.
They just remade this movie.
Did you
see it? So we're going to try to make sense of this one and answer the question at the end, should there be more Candyman?
Has anybody in this room seen the new Candyman?
No.
It just came out.
I know. Did we gotten a clue? Like, is it just a remake or is it a reboot? Or
it is Jake. It is a direct sequel to this film that ignores Candyman, Farewell to the Flesh, and Candyman 3, whatever the fuck that's called.
Candyman 3, the candying.
The caning.
The Reese's Pieces in... Rest in Reese's Pieces?
They should do a holiday one of these where the Candyman jumps out of your tree if you say his name 3 times into like a one of those Christmas bulbs that, you know, reflects your reflection.
Mm-hmm.
If you say Candyman into the tree 3 times,
he'll teach you the true spirit of Christmas and then kill you. But then you'll come back like George Bailey, kind of, you know, learn your lesson type thing.
Hi, movie house.
Was that Jimmy Stewart?
Yes.
I don't know if that was Jimmy Stewart.
I don't have your money. It's at Jack's house and at Bill's.
Speaking of iconic voice actors, Tony Todd is in this. I would definitely say that Tony Todd's voice is the only reason to come for this movie. He's a pretty good voice actor.
Okay, I'm going to burn a question now. I know you've seen it at least 3 times. How many times have you watched this movie?
I think 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah, I got 2 more to go before he shows up at my house.
Shut. So basically, I've made you watch this movie 3 times.
Basically, yes.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's all your fault. It's all your fault.
How many times have you seen it, Jackie?
Like 5. But
yeah,
I watch it with my mom, right? Because she likes scary movies.
I have seen it 5 times now as well.
Okay. I hope
was
you guys
really optimistic that I had it figured out about halfway through, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we got some splaining to do. All right, why don't we get into this? Tell us what you got, Sam.
So Bernard Rose is the director, and he had a happen chance bump in with Clive Barker. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to...
Horror, author, sci-fi. He did some sci-fi too, didn't he, Clive Barker?
What hasn't Clive Barker done? Okay. And the answer is, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Photographer. He's the real-life Darth Marenghi.
Mm.
He may actually be a medical doctor, too. I just don't know. And he wanted to adapt his short story, The Forbidden. And Clive Barker's like, yeah, you should go for it. You got the, I'll tell you the rights, whatever. And so he changed it. The Forbidden was set in 1970s Liverpool, but it still had a sort of social statement about the class system in England. Whereas in this one, he's basically talking about the African-American poor in the projects. And so he changes the setting to the famous slum Cabrini Green, which was real. They just tore the rest of that down in 2011.
Okay. Interesting.
It's been completely gentrified. And apparently the new movie, because Jordan Peele's the producer, he didn't end up directing it,
okay,
is set in the gentrified area that was once Cabrini Green, sort of furthering these statements about society.
Okay.
What is interesting is that Bernard Rose wanted to make, and I feel that this film is implicitly solid. The history of the Candyman is social injustice, and visually you are greeted with this separation of white people and black people and impoverished and fairly wealthy people in Chicago the entire time. So I really do feel that he implicitly maintained a solid tone with that. It's just that that's the problem with implicit meanings, is that a lot of times you walk out with what you walk in with. And a lot of people were like, this is perpetuating black people being bad, that already thought that films did that. And then those that thought it was uplifting said the same thing. So it has a really mixed bag of reviews in that sense. And you obviously have someone like Jordan Peele who really loves the film enough that he has carried on the legacy of it. So it hit right with some people. It didn't hit right with others. Tony Todd really it's his favorite role that he's ever done. Okay. I'm really glad they had to back into Tony Todd, because originally the studio wanted to spend more money on it and wanted Eddie Murphy to be the Candyman.
No.
Wow, that would have...
He's a one-trick pony. And he can't be a joke Candyman.
He can act. He was good in...
Dr. Dolittle?
No.
Haunted Mansion?
No.
Beverly Hills Cop 2?
No. The...
Saturday Night Live?
My Name is Dolomite. He was good in that. He can act. But it wouldn't have worked. Nobody would have... You can't be scared of him.
No.
He's not scary. That's like Tom Cruise's being the Mummy. Like
Tom Cruise is as John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh no. I mean, yes, he is scary in real life, but on screen he's not.
I mean, I think they could get away with Tom Cruise as what was that guy?
Jack Reacher, because they did that.
No, the serial killer who was good looking, that was a lawyer. Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
I think they could get away with that.
He'd have to stand on a bigger box.
Ted Bundy was really tall. He's a little. Tom Cruise is a little short for a stormtrooper.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy. Wow, weird choice. I don't think that would have paid off.
Didn't. And Virginia Madsen gets cast because Bernard Rose's then wife, Alexandra Pig, got pregnant, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so she gets bumped up from the Bernadette character, the Bernie character, to the Helen character. But she's like, I don't really think I want to do this. I'm allergic to bees.
Not the bees.
And then Bernard Rose says, no, you're not. You're just afraid. So she goes to UCLA and she comes back with certified results that she's allergic to bees.
See, I told you.
I am allergic to bees. And then his response was, according to this, you're more allergic to wasps.
Oh.
Wow.
We aren't doing wasp on this film, so you're safe.
What a D-bag.
So the bee handler that they bring in is apparently there's a lot of magic regarding bees, and I don't know how reliable any of this bee information is, but apparently when bees are exactly 12 hours old, they look like mature adult bees, but they are not yet able to sting. So Virginia Madsen was only allowed to be around bees that were exactly 12 hours old. What a logistic nightmare.
How does that work? It takes a while to shoot stuff. Like, did they just then euthanize the 13? Oh, we got to do it again. 13-hour bees are no good. Get some more 12-hour bees in here.
Apparently, the activist groups were up this thing's ass the whole time. So they couldn't destroy any of the bees, which why would you? Bees are good. They
are awesome.
Gave them to beekeepers, right? Mm-hmm. And so as they produced a massive quantity of bees for the film, and then those bees get distributed properly, or so they have told me via the internet. Who knows if they just
massive quantity. Back to the bee factory.
All on fire. Tony Todd was able to negotiate a clause into his contract because he knew that he wasn't allergic to bees, therefore would not get the sunny treatment of only having 12-hour-old bees with him. Mm-hmm. So he got $1,000 for every sting.
Oh.
I bet
23?
he was just out there waving his arms around like, sting me, little fuckers.
Where's the queen? I'm going to punch her right in the face.
After the first time, he's probably like, you know what? I should have been more. Should have been more. He took 23 to 26,000 in bee stings.
That's...
Ow. And how long did it take to shoot this movie, do you think?
A few months.
Yeah.
The bees took the longest. Apparently, the scene where his mouth is full of bees, it took 30 minutes to get all those bees in his mouth.
Mm.
And were those 12-hour bees, or were they just like, fuck you?
Whatever.
You get whatever bees come along.
Yeah, they were street bees.
Well, with the 30-minute time of it taking, all of a sudden, like, the 12-hour bee just doesn't work out, right? It's a 12-and-a-half-hour bee. Is that a dangerous bee? I don't know. I don't have these answers. He did have a mouthpiece that was supposed to protect him a certain amount, but I guess he got a number of mouth stings, which had to suck bad.
Yeah. I think you get to, like, triple your bee fee if you get a mouth sting.
I think you just drink a lot of whiskey before that scene so that you're kind of numb.
Yeah.
You can just stare at the wall. You know how you like check out when you get too drunk?
Yeah.
That would have been my move.
But then what if you barfed on the bees?
No, because you don't get that bad. Stupid. Like,
you could also
dumb?
just have like some Novocaine or something, or like that dental numbing.
You give him laughing
goop.
gas.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But that doesn't numb your mouth. You need that the swab, the little chalky swab that they. That's what I would do. I'd be like, get a orthodontist in here and numb this whole puppy up before you stick a bunch of bees in there, and then you wouldn't be able to tell that you had bees. So then you'd be walking around like, okay, we're done. I'm gonna go get some Jack in the Box and get diarrhea. Oh, I forgot that I had a bee in my mouth this whole time.
Well, and who's checking him for these bee stings? Like, I got stung in the mouth, and they're like, 1, 2, that might be a canker sore. We're not going to count that one.
Well, you could probably see like, oh yeah, that's swelling up real nice. I mean, when was the last time you were stung by a bee, honey?
I've never been stung by a bee.
Yeah, it seems like you're not a pro, and it's been, 35 years since I've been stung by a bee. I think only kids really get stung by bees unless they're bee people.
I remember the last time that I got stung by a bee. It was in math class. How do you get stung by a bee in math class? I'll tell you. Hoss Alley caught a bee and then stuck it in my shirt so it would sting me.
What an asshole.
I was friends with that guy.
Yeah, he was kind of a dick. He didn't make it. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that. So what else you got, Sam?
Where was Vanessa Williams in this whole thing?
But there's an actress called Vanessa Williams.
Williams it's Vanessa Estelle Williams, the mother of the baby.
Oh.
So the internet's just a little fucked up on that one.
Yeah.
So I was like, I saw her name in the credits, right? And I'm like, oh, they're going to save the best for last.
Oh.
Yes.
Cheap. Cheap.
And I was like, they must be saving the best for last because she hasn't appeared in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, maybe she's the baby.
She went back in time and became Miss Universe in 1979 as the baby in a movie in 1992. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, does it, Jackie?
No, it doesn't. But I was very disappointed.
Yeah, I like Vanessa Williams. She's a nice, pretty lady. Sammy?
So to actually shoot at Cabrini Green, they had to negotiate with the gang that ran it. Like, straight up, this place is renowned for, during New Year's celebrations, they would just fire automatic weapons into the air. The police would go in there and try to, like, sweep it every once in a while, but they could never keep control of it. So, like, on New Year's, they would just close streets off well distanced around this because they're like, yeah, don't go there in New Year's. This shit's crazy.
Wow.
So
did they really have the bonfires like they did at the end of the movie?
No, the bonfire thing was in the original short story, and they apparently had kind of a tough time working that in because, and I don't know, having seen this so many times, it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb to me, but apparently they felt that way when they were making it, like, oh, nobody does these bonfires. But I mean, who's to say, right? I didn't notice that in viewing the film. That didn't stick out to me. So, but they negotiated with the gang members, and so the gang members that are extras in the movie are real gang members, and that's the only way that they could get them to allow them to shoot the movie here. And on the last day of shooting, apparently one of the gang's sharpshooters shot a generator van intentionally, like, to make them know that, yeah, we're still dangerous. And, like, the gang has sharpshooters?
Hey, what?
Yeah. That's fucking dangerous gang.
God damn, yeah.
Do they, were those their real gang jackets, or did they
Nothing
get new ones for the movie?
Cabrini Green, other than, like, probably some of the... I can't imagine that even any of the suite is the suites or whatever. Like, most of that graffiti had to be there. They had minimal impact on that shooting location.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. You think you could just pay gang members, like, hey, we're going to shoot a movie. Here's $30,000 for one day of your time.
They probably had to pay him as well.
Don't be dicks. If you kill us, you're not going to get that $30,000.
Virginia Madsen had said that right before they started shooting this, a stray bullet hit a school child. Like,
oh my
right
God.
beforehand. This was a bad neighborhood.
Yeah. I imagine it. Well, no, you said it was gentrified, but there's still definitely places like this in Chicago.
Like, wasn't there all this sort of talk of Chicago being a lawless wasteland during the last couple elections?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it pisses me off when stray bullets hit people. Like,
Oh.
be better shots. Like, if you're
Speaking
going to
of-
shoot each other, don't miss.
Children, Dewan Guy is Jake, the boy, who was known on set as One Take Jake because he was so brilliant as a young actor.
That's awesome.
But you know who he is, though, right?
He grew up to be... no. I got nothing.
He's Dewan Guy.
God damn it.
You know the Dewan Guy? You seen him, Jackie?
The one take guy? Gotcha. We're talking about the little boy, right?
Yeah.
He grows up to be Keenan Thompson.
No.
He grows
His
up
name
to
is
be...
Dewan Guy. He's Dewan Guy.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
God damn it.
I think I'm missing it.
His name is Dewan Guy.
Oh my
Grew
God.
up to be Dewan Guy. Right now, there's a lot of listeners turning this show off.
They're like, oh my God.
Next,
Maybe I
I'll
should
listen
start-
to the news instead.
Maybe I should start drinking for this episode because I'm not getting the jokes.
Okay, Congress is funnier than this. Okay, what else, Sam?
That's what I got, other than stuff I'll mention in passing as we go through it.
I think we're gonna move pretty rapidly through this, just because there's not a lot that takes place, but there is some stuff that we do have to talk about, even when stuff is not taking place, because it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And maybe I think by the end of this, if we go into like some minor details, we might be able to solve this. But to me, this is not just a straight up a Spooktoberween movie. This is also a nonsensical November pick, because I don't think it makes any sense, but we'll see. First thing I'd like to point out is the tracking shot, chopper shot over the credits of the city.
Yeah.
What do you think the percentage of films are that have helicopter shots of the city at the beginning?
7 does. I actually have some interesting information on this shot. The Skycam, and I think it was probably done on a plane, not a helicopter,
Okay.
was just invented. This is one of the first uses of the Skycam for this sort of shot, that is able to basically put a 500 millimeter lens on a down-facing camera on a plane and shoot without any shake. So they were all very excited because nobody had really seen this before. And then, years later, 7 beats this shot to death.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's awesome. It still works. And they did the same, like they copied it almost to the T with the slow droning music, and they're like, oh, we like that. We're going to just do a lot of it in 7. And it works in 7 too. But I like this shot, and it goes really well with Philip Glass's music.
I'm going to say 25%.
25, a quarter of all movies start out with the city.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a picture of the road, right? It can be like a panning shot.
No narration or dialogue while helicopter or plane.
Well, what would have made
the,
this one better if they would have showed the bean.
The bean.
The great big shiny chrome bean that's on the South Loop, because then you would know for sure you were in Chicago.
Or they could show the Sears Tower, which is much more iconic, which they did.
They just do the opposite of what they did and have a bunch of pan tilts of buildings and landmarks, and it's every set of establishing shots in every movie ever. No, this works good, and it's early on, and you don't really... Now this is a more popular shot, but even in establishing shots, the just overhead skycam is not a well-used shot, say.
All right, so then after the establishing shot, we get some Tony Todd dialogue of him being like, I am the thing in the night, blah, blah, blah. Then the entire city of Chicago gets swarmed by bees? What was that?
And then Virginia Madsen's face, like, comes out of it. And then there's, like, an actual matte visual effects composite shot where the city buildings stay, but the bees go.
Right.
And then Virginia Madsen's face is there.
I think this is how the Candyman relocates.
It just moves.
Yeah, like he was in Detroit, right? And
screwed that place up pretty good. I need to move on.
Well, that, and, now we know about these pesky, academic types like myself that are out there disproving him.
Yeah, you elitist.
And that's where he gets his power. So he's like, oh, fuck, again? Yeah. I have to move again? And so he just relocated him and all of his bee people.
Yeah, stupid Michigan timber. What's the mascot for the University of Michigan?
The Wolverines.
Wolverines, yeah, okay. Yeah, those buttholes. So anyways, and then, so everything's all scary, right? But then Virginia Madsen plays a character by the name of Helen. She's doing her post-grad thesis. Don't know if it's master's or doctorate. I'm assuming doctorate. But
no, shouldn't it be her master's thesis?
Okay.
Should be a master's thesis and a dissertation for your doctorate.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So she's a little bit old to be getting a master's.
Yeah. Well, you're never too old to learn.
No, but okay. So this is what I was thinking: is that they kind of tried to make her out like she was younger, and like she had met her husband while attending the university.
Oh my!
So you know that he's got, a thing for dating his students.
Yeah, yeah. He's icky. Anyways, so she is talking to, I guess, a student or somebody about her urban legends thesis that she's working on. And so we've got this spooky tone with this Clarice type feeling, where a young, beautiful woman is pursuing a serial killer, and we all know where this is going. But then the next thing we see is Ted goddamn Raimi, the least frightening thing on the planet.
She's interviewing a student who's telling the story, and she's telling the story in Valley Girl. Mm-hmm. And then Deborah, because I wrote some of this down, she's dating Michael, but this is Billy, because Billy is a bad boy. And Billy's so she's going to give Billy what she never gave Michael because he's so bad.
Yeah.
And then Billy shows up and it's Ted Raimi.
It's Ted
gross.
Raimi.
It was so gross.
Naughty boy Ted Raimi. Yes, I understand he's not an attractive man, Jackie, but he is...
He's also not a naughty-looking boy.
He is a gift to humankind, the Ted Raimi.
I'm not saying he's not, but he is. You know what? If you're gonna go for the classic typecasting, right? That this movie so right. obviously is around.
Can't have Ted Raimi.
Yeah, couldn't we get a better
tough guy?
Yeah, why didn't we just get the Fonz?
You're right.
Hey,
Henry Winkler.
I mean, come on. This guy is so not intimidating. No. And then she's like, "Go downstairs, and I have a surprise for you. It's herpes."
Yep. And so she calls out Candyman. Cindy is like, hey, have you heard about Candyman, Ted Raimi? And he's like, I'm here for the booty. And she's like, well, here's what you do is you call his name 5 times in the mirror and you stand on one leg and you spin around 3 times. And that's what it's all about. And he's like, this is dumb. When do we get to screwing? And she's like, well, go downstairs, big boy. And so he does. But then she's like, Candyman, Candyman in the mirror. And he pokes her. he
detonates her.
He penetrates her.
So here's the deal. I honestly thought that we were going to get the whole 2-pump chump
out
of this
tough
whole
guy
scene.
Billy.
Yeah, that he was going to lift up her skirt and they were going to go to town. He was going to Candyman, Candyman, oh no!
I didn't get to 5.
I didn't get to 5. So then he just leaves, right? He's like, don't tell anybody about this or I'll knife you. But then he pulls out a knife, but it's actually a hair comb. Because he's got on all of his inspiration from the Fonz.
Yeah.
And
his other pocket's a cigarette lighter gun.
Yeah. So he just leaves and then she's like, oh, Candyman, Candyman, Candyman. And she finishes it off like, it's never going to work out for me. I just can't get past 3.
Okay. That's pretty funny. So that's how she hears of the Candyman. I think this is the first that she becomes aware of the myth of Candyman, right?
I guess so. Also, it should be mentioned in 1992 at the University of Illinois, you can smoke inside. Because they're all just smoking like damn chimneys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know. I miss the good old days of smoking indoors at public places while I'm waiting for my food at Denny's. And
so she is like, she goes over to her husband, who we meet. His name is Trevor. Of course, his name is Trevor.
And he is just the type of guy who thinks that he is awesome and that, you know what, I can get any chick I want at this university.
Right.
And I'm going to do it.
And she's like, hey, Dick, I told you not to talk to the students about urban legends. You're tainting my thesis. And he's like, sorry, babe, I got to teach what I got to teach.
Well, this wasn't part of your curriculum.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, student.
What class are you
teaching?
Sure,
you're my wife, but I'm not altering my curriculum for your thesis. Fuck off.
Yeah, well, I think they could both fuck off. And then she's like, who is that Stacy bitch? And he's like, I don't know. Stacy.
She's madly in love with me because she has hormones and boobs.
Yeah.
All of the students in this class.
Are you boning her? No.
Don't be ridiculous.
Of course not.
He totally, that's totally what he sounds like. He's smiling and smirking as he says it, like, you'll never catch me, I'm the Candyman.
He's a total cockbag, but at the same time, she used to be Stacy and she married him.
Exactly.
These are expectations that she should have. I'm not excusing his behavior. I'm pointing out that she has made a poor life choice.
Yes. She is just one in the long line of Stacys.
Yeah. She definitely settled for him based off of his brains. Because we also find out that he has a drinking problem.
Right? Oh man, this guy's a piece of work. All right, so then she goes back to writing or whatever, and the janitor is like, "Oh, you're working on the Candyman, huh? Let me tell you about the Candyman. He killed a lady over in what's this place called? Cabrini Green?
Cabrini Green.
Cabrini Green." And she's like, "Oh, well, that sounds pretty interesting." He's like, you should check it out. It's in the papers. And she's like, the papers? Like how if the Candyman is so much of like a major foundation of this city in this area, how is she just, her thesis is on urban legends and she's never heard of the one that lives in her city.
So she's 75% of students doing a master's thesis.
Good point.
Yeah. And considering that we learned later that one of her friends / professor guys has already written a paper on this.
Yeah.
And she didn't know about this paper, and he has to fill her in. So I'm thinking that the research is not real strong in this one.
Yeah, I don't think she's going places.
But I love how we perpetuate the stereotypes again with this scene, because obviously there's black people at this college, but they're just here to clean.
Right.
And that's what I got out of it. Because even her co-researcher, it has the light I don't know if you guys remember this, but like I remember watching this Cosby episode.
Oh boy.
Yeah, where they it was really popular to do a brown bag test, a paper bag test.
I don't know what that is.
On your face.
What?
If you were not white, so you wanted to be paler than the paper bag, if I'm remembering this right. And there was a whole episode on the Cosby Show about it because the daughter didn't have paper bag colored skin, and so it was you're too dark, blah 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 blah. So to me, this is just kind of perpetuating that because
who was telling her that she was too dark? Bill Cosby?
No, her friends.
Oh.
And her friend's mom.
They're like, so you can't be our pal because you're darker than a paper bag? But
yeah.
Wasn't the whole thing about the
Yeah, well, she was just too dark, and she was too African American, and she was never going to go anywhere in this world.
Interesting. I have never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, that's I didn't know about it, but I do remember seeing it on the Cosby Show.
Huh.
So I think that this kind of perpetuates into that mentality of the time, right? Where it was like, well, this light-skinned African American lady, she's a college student, but these other ones, they're not passing the paper bag test, so they're cleaning ladies.
Okay.
She's also dressed like Blossom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The fashion in the 90s were a crime.
Yes, they were.
They were a crime.
So she reads the stories about this lady. Ruth,
Well, she gets her friend.
Ruth Jean.
The cleaning lady gets her friend from outside of the hall and brings her in, and then she tells her name was Ruthie Jean.
Okay.
And gives her the details that she needs to go do the research.
Okay, great. Thanks for adding in that.
You know, I like to just put in some filler sometimes and listen to myself talk.
A lady came in and said the same thing that Justin just said. Okay, thanks, honey.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So she reads about Ruthie Jean in the newspaper, and she's like, wait a minute. Cabrini Green looks like my apartment building. They were built by the same people, and therefore they were both projects. One just got gentrified, and my condo I paid too much for.
Yeah. She also got to read it on microfiche, which I always like microfiche.
Yeah, in movies it looks good, and it confuses all the kids.
It does. They're like, what is that newspaper machine? What is a newspaper?
The internet looks
dial
really weird.
Phones?
Cameras that run out of film?
Can openers that don't... What's this handle on it for? This is not a can opener. Where's the electric one?
Oh, dude, I think kids use hand can openers. I think I haven't seen an electric can opener in years.
I used to really like them because they would, the little magnet on the top would get the top of the can so you don't have to like stick your finger and stuff in there and risk getting cut.
But they were all pieces of shit and they always broke. Electric can openers suck.
Well, that's why we don't have one.
Right. Anyways, so she learns that her condo is crappy also. She's like, hey, Bernadette, come over. I want to show you something. And so they're like, see this ordinary looking medicine cabinet? Uh-huh. Well, guess what? There's a hole behind it that leads into the other. Why on God's green earth, if you're building condos or Section 8 housing, would you be like, well, to save a couple dollars, we're going to cut a hole in the wall behind the medicine cabinets? What possible reason could construction workers think that was?
I bet that in the original building, the gang members were like, hey, we need to get from apartment to apartment just in case the police sweep. What do you think about putting it behind the mirrors?
Yeah, the gang members go to the city council and say, yes, while you're building, could you do us a solid? No.
I think it's a
They built them like this because they could manufacture the steel for the medicine cabinets in a way that they just basically friction locked into the hole. These are real, and the medicine cabinet murders were real in Chicago.
What?
Yes.
Holy shit, what? How many? Do you know?
At least 3.
Oh, that's awful.
And they would go from apartment to apartment through those holes.
So I think some people have some splaining to do because, and that's twice in this episode I've done that. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. You can't leave holes. Like, that's not safe.
So my biggest fear when I lived in an apartment, right, was that somebody was going to come through the crawl space. because it's all connected underneath, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And so
Yep.
I would always block that hole and put something really heavy over the top of it. And if it was in the ceiling, I would try to put something that was glass and would possibly cut someone. One time I put
Did you?
I had a vase and I put it up there with a knife sticking up at the top so that if they tried to come down, they'd get stabbed.
You literally were Kevin McAllister.
Yeah, I was fucking scared of it. I was like, I bet this connects up to the other apartments, and I don't think I'm wrong. And
It does.
the vase with a knife at the top, a pretty big deterrent. If it's dark and you're just kind of falling out of that thing, you're going to get stabbed. And not only that, you're going to get glass in your ass because it's going to break and you're going to get a big stabbings.
And it's all in comedic fashion, too.
And then it's going to wake me up because I'll hear the vase crash and then I can get up and run for it.
Anytime that... when it comes to home security, Jackie, you're now in charge.
Yeah, I also would not put anything that I really cared about underneath this area just in case they bled. Because like if I had like a nice coat or something, I'd put it on the other side of the closet because then if they bled onto my clothing, it was like, well, that's kind of my throwaway clothing anyway, so it's okay. If somebody gets stabbed and bleeds on that, I'm willing to part with it.
That is some weird thoughts that you had back then. Okay, let's move on.
I lived alone.
Right. So they summon Candyman. They're like, oh, you don't think it's real, do you? I dare you. No, do it. Candyman. And nothing happens.
Well,
Okay.
the other lead chickens out.
Oh, that's true. But Helen, she does it 5 times.
Yeah.
So that night, she's sleeping. She hears a noise. Oh my God, it's Candyman. Nope, it's her scummy husband who's coming in the middle of the night, drunk off his butt. Like...
And why does he jump at her like some kind of weird psycho? I mean, this is Chicago, right? So home break-ins in the middle of the night, raping women in their apartments. That
Climbing
kind of shit,
through your medicine cabinet.
Yeah, I mean, that shit is happening. So why in the fuck would you think it was okay?
I don't think he really thinks that much of...
Like he just like snuck in on all fours and then jumped on her.
Right.
Yeah, Trevor's a douchebag.
He's a total douchebag. And she doesn't even like really question, where have you been? What were you doing? Why are you drunk? Who were you with? None of this comes up. She has no clue where he is. And then he shows up drunk off his butt. I would feel terrible if I did this to you, Jackie. But then also, I would expect you to have some questions for me.
I wouldn't be asking him why you were drunk. I'd be like, okay, lay down now. Don't puke on my comforter like you did at Christmas time.
Okay.
But, but later in the film, though, he does the same thing with her, right? Like she's in jail and he was like, well, I don't know. I thought you were out with your buddy doing more research.
Right.
In the projects. And I don't come back.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't there anyway. But really?
Yeah, they're not going to make it. These two.
I mean, nowadays, I could just locate you on my phone.
Right.
I know exactly where you're at.
Which is usually downstairs playing video games.
Yeah. But
Don't
if
have
you
to
try
look
to
very far.
leave,
Yeah.
I can find you. It's like, don't bother to say that you left your phone at home because you never do. So if you ever leave your phone at home, I'm going to know
Okay.
that you're out drinking.
Carousing.
And that there's going to be a cat fight later.
Okay.
When you jump on me and I'm like,
Weird. Okay, so they, the pair of them, Helen and Bernadette, they decide to go to Cabrini Greens. They're like, all right, let's check out where this Ruthie Jean lady died and see if we can gain some knowledge about what the Candyman is. That these people live in such squalor that in order for their brains to live with the reality that is put upon them, they have invented this myth of the Candyman to explain away just that their lives are shitty. And so that's where they're going. That's where their thoughts are.
They are able to confirm the police reports and the newspaper. I'm burning a question now. Helen, what will you find that will help your thesis here?
it makes for, in all reality, it makes for a great book. Because people like me who are never going to go into those neighborhoods because I am desperately white and stupid about it. And I know
Desperately white.
Desperately white. Like,
I don't think that's the right word.
I know that I am a fucking idiot when it comes to the world, right? I know that I am.
Okay.
And I know that I would probably be like, hi, how's it going? And then I would get shot because they'd be like, narc or something, right? Because I'm just overly friendly. As you know, we've traveled the world together. And we've had some weird times. Anyway.
Like this one.
Yeah. So people like me are going to be like, oh, she investigated this. She took a bunch of pictures from the projects. I can now go out and buy this book and I don't have to wonder.
Yeah. She's doing it for authority reasons. She's proving that she did the legwork, Sam. This is good and useless fact-checking.
All right.
This is...
And she used a Ford Festiva, so she got good gas mileage.
Okay. All right, so they go in. The residents there think that they're cops, so they're kind of safe. They find this apartment and the hole behind the mirror. Sure enough, there's also a hole there. There's a neighbor, and she's being kind of creepy at first, but then she's pretty friendly, and she divulges that, the janitor lady also said that there was the Ruthie Jean heard banging in the wall, and that when she called 911, she said he's coming through the wall, and so they find this hole and say, oh, okay, there is a killer. He came in through the bathroom window, and this is all just false mything.
Well, and these apartments seem pretty spacious because the way that they shot it anyway, it made it seem like there was just the neighbor lady and then murder apartment on this particular hallway.
Right.
And then they had a view out to the parking lot. It was just kind of like, I guess they shot it there, so it had to be, No,
the exteriors they shot. This could have been
right, but,
staged.
Anyway, I would just think that there'd be more.
Big. Yeah.
There'd be more apartments on that floor.
Right. So
there's also a way that they're laid out where they have a lot of what are called pop-outs, and so they could have just been on one of the center pop-outs, and so even though there's like 40 apartments on that floor, they're just in a pop-out that only has 2 apartments. Yeah. And so you'd walk around the corner, and then the corridors would lead to a wider section of more doors, and then there'd be another pop-out on the end.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Either way, but Jackie's point is still that these are big apartments. They're spacious. So that's kind of nice for the projects. Anyways, so Helen goes through the bathroom window door, and inside she's taking a bunch of pictures. There's graffiti. There's the reoccurring thing, sweets in the streets, sweets to the streets, whatever that is.
Sweets. Okay, I wrote it down. Hold on.
Excuse me.
Sweets to the Sweet, which is not... They had to do this probably for the movie.
Sweet to the Sweet?
Because
that doesn't make any
doubt
sense.
It's from Hamlet. So I'm thinking that it was done for the movie.
Okay.
Way to
Unless
class
the
up this
gangs
film.
were really big on Hamlet.
Are we sure that it's the gangs, or is this Candyman's graffiti?
It's Candyman inspired graffiti from Hamlet, so I'm thinking they did it for the movie.
But your implication there, Sam, is still the same. These people that live in the projects, I'm not saying that they can't enjoy some Hamlet. It just seems that it's a very odd graffiti style to be like, oh, what sweets is sweets? Well, you ignorant bastard, with your spray paint rattle can. Have you never read Hamlet?
Well, they probably had to in high school, so you don't know. Maybe that just really stuck with someone.
They don't go to high school. They're drug dealers.
Well, they were kids before they were drug dealers, right?
I don't think people that go on to be gang members really... I mean, that whole Dangerous Mind thing was kind of bullshit. I think they just don't go to school. You could just be a drug dealer, because that's what you're going to do anyways.
If they were smart, they would educate a handful of gang members all the way up to criminal defense lawyers. So that way they would always have a loyal lawyer.
That's a good point.
That would be strategy. Able to bail them out, right? Make connections with inside the court system, because that's what you have to fucking do.
Build a criminal empire right there.
And,
like The Departed?
Yeah, like The Departed.
Oh. I've not seen that.
You haven't seen The Departed?
No.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have to take care of that pretty soon.
But Jesus, isn't that a great idea?
Yeah.
Apparently I'm not the first one to think of it,
no.
but I mean, damn.
So she is going through. She finds this graffiti, and she also finds the last stop on her tour is candy with razor blades in it.
It's kind of like that joke that I told like a really long time ago about the farmer.
Yeah, we're not doing that. we all know that one.
But she runs out of film.
Well,
and what
the farmer's daughter does appear in this movie, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Good connection there.
But she runs out of film.
Right.
And, you know, if it's me, and I am me, okay?
All right.
I am not going somewhere without at least a pocket full of film.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to come back.
Right.
And I don't know what I'm going to find. So I'm going to bring at least 2 backups. Mm-hmm. And it kind of seemed like to me that she maybe had some other pictures on this roll already.
Yeah.
She seems like an idiot. She's also shooting in color positive, which is really expensive.
Ooh. Yeah. Not good. All right. Which conflicts with her Ford Festiva, Sam. She's a walking contradiction. All right. So she talks to the neighbor. The neighbor's like, yeah, I heard the screams. I believe in Candyman. Okay, well, thanks for your time. Bye-bye. Then she goes to a dinner with her husband and his friend, and that's where he's like, you dolt, you know nothing of Candyman if you have not read my paper on him.
Yeah, this guy is a D-bag.
He is also a D-bag. Who do you think you are, Orson Welles?
Yeah. Why don't you drink some more champagne and then try to sell us champagne? That would be great.
Oh, the French.
He's like, but at the same time, he makes a valid point. He's like, you haven't read my paper on this? And she's like, no, but I'm going to bury you. I'm like, maybe you should read his so you know what you're up against, stupid.
Yeah, everybody sucks. Like...
This is an ego fest for academics.
It is.
And I hate to say it. I have a doctorate degree, right? And there are a lot of people that do this kind of weird shit. And I'm like, oh, go fuck yourself. You are not high and mighty.
No.
You just have more student loan debt than most people.
Right. Ugh, gross.
Like, can't you use that for some good?
All right, so this guy, he does actually contribute something here because he does explain the legend of the Candyman's origin, he's like, it all started in 1890, and Candyman was this dude, and he's just doing his dude thing.
He was a painter.
Walking around.
From a prestigious family.
Being like king in Kung Fu. And, but then
he got a commission.
And then the farmers was like, hey, my daughter's, she's getting pretty long in the tooth for being a virgin. You want to knock the dust off of that? And
you want to paint her portrait? I'm interpreting for you. Keep going.
Oh, I thought it was Banger.
No, it was.
No, he hired her.
Paint the portrait of my daughter.
Oh, so the Candyman's like, yeah, sure, I'll paint. Oh, she is nice. I like that.
Would you like to run away with me?
Getting on top of her as we speak.
Oh, this is nice.
Yes. And I'm going to paint her face. Sorry. Okay, that might have been a little far. It's in my
eye.
Might have been a little far.
I'm going to tell my dad.
Yeah, so she gets knocked up, and the farmer is like, oh, hell no, and hires a gang of George Zimmerman's
hooligans
to kill him. And so they drag him out into the streets, and they chop off his hand, his one hand. They're like, haha, now you can't paint anymore.
But you can still wipe your butt, so that's cool.
Yeah, doing you would be cruel if we took both of them.
What they're gonna cover him in bees and burn him? Like, really, the hand is just extraneous.
And they're like, "Hey, look over there. There's some beehives. We're killing this guy. We've been hired to torture him in public. Usually, what we do is hook him to the back of a Ford Festiva and drive him down the street. But we don't have those yet. So let's use the bees. Who uses bees?"
These guys use bees.
They slather him in honey, and the bees sting him to death.
Well, so how many people are actually allergic to bees? Do we know?
Like in the world?
Yeah, like a rough estimate. Like,
no idea.
Okay, so
I'm not.
Maybe they're like, I read in the Onion last week that 75% of people die from bee stings.
Which would then mean that it's not actually 75%.
Yeah. So he's like, come on, Gary, get out the bees. but Farmer Jack has really been working hard on those bees this year. Just get them! Get him so we can smother him. Okay, bees, sting him in the forehead. We want him to look like he had zits.
Hey, it's not working. Yeah, because you read The Onion, stupid. That's not... I don't think you know what The Onion is.
It is a bona fide newspaper, sir. It is how I get all of my information. Did you know the aliens and the Sasquatch are real?
That is also not The Onion. I think you need to stop with The Onion because you clearly don't know what The Onion does. Sam, you seem like you want to speak.
So, yeah, they cover him in bees, which would kill anybody. X amount of bee stings, you die.
No, they cover him in honey. They cover him in honey.
They cover him in the honeycomb from the hive, so the bees' olfactory senses feel that this man has stolen their hive, and so they sting him to death. I guess.
I don't think that would work.
It doesn't matter. They burn him. They burn him afterwards. They cut off his hand. They get bees on him. They burn him.
He was going to get killed.
And how many bees died in that fire?
Right. Tragic. That was good honey, too. I just, like, it's an odd origin story. Like, the bee thing is so completely unnecessary. It is honestly just as necessary to this story as not the bees in Wicker Man. Why bees? Like, just... The
bees are the most complicated part of this filmmaking, and even the visual shots of the city, everything that's expensive about this movie has to do with these bees, and they just don't need to be there.
They don't need to be there. Like, if you're gonna, I mean, I just think it's so ridiculous. Like, ha ha ha, we've been commissioned to kill this guy, and he's laying on the ground naked with his hand off, and he's like, ow, ooh, ow, ow. Ooh, ow, 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 ow. Like, it's not... And they're like, those bees are really getting him. Ouch. Oh,
they stung him in the dick.
Ow, ow, ow.
Which would explain why he chops that kid's dick off later.
Okay, thank you. And so, like, does everything have to be about private parts on this episode?
There is a shot in this movie where somebody gets
I understand,
their wiener
and we
cut
will
off.
get to that, but seriously, my point is...
Stung in the wiener.
That it's not... If you're being bad guys... This isn't scary. Murder by bees is the least horrific way to go I could think of. Yes, it's not fun. It's not pleasant, but is it like, whoa, the horror. Look at that man go, ow, 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 ow.
Well, maybe that's why they went to fire. They're like, oh, fuck, dude, this is taking too long. The pub's going to close pretty soon. Let's just burn him up.
Why did the filmmakers decide bees, Jackie? That's the point. It doesn't make sense.
I feel like the bees are part of the original... He didn't want to venture far from the Clive Barker work.
It just doesn't line up with me. Anyways, all right, so that's his origin. And he's like, oh, these guys are pissing me off, and I'm dead now, and I'm going to come back and be a bad guy. Well,
they burn him, and then they spread the ashes over what will eventually become Cabrini Green.
Right. He's the ghost of...
So that's how he's haunted, because they, like, go through all that. Bees... burning, and then they spread the ashes.
Right.
I thought he came from Detroit.
Right. He was popping around.
We saw that at the beginning.
Right. Okay. So then Helen goes back to take more pictures. She meets the kid Jake, one take Jake, and he's like, yeah, I know where Candyman is, but I'm not taking you to him because he'll get me. And she's like, well, I won't tell anybody if you don't. And he's like, well, okay, even though that's not how Candyman works at all. Let's go. And so he takes her to a public bathroom, and he's like, he's in there. That's where he lives. There was this kid, and he really had to go potty. And his mom was like, la, 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 look at all these good deals at the shopping center across the street. And he's like,
I really gotta pee.
Mom, I'm doing the pee-pee dance. And she's like, nope, don't have time. And, 30% off. And he's like, fine, bitch. I'm out of here.
Going across the street.
Pee
Well, she said,
over here.
Don't bother me. I'm trying to pick out nail polish. Just fucking go across the street. There's a public toilet over there. Not, can we ask somebody in the store, hey, can we use your toilet? It's go across the street. It's only 4 lanes of traffic. You'll be fine. And you can play on the playground until I'm done.
Right.
After you take your pee-pee.
So the kid goes in there. I don't know why he even has anything to do with Candyman. It's not like he's like, okay, every time I have to go potty, I have to say Candyman 5 times. He just whips his wiener out to go pee-pee, and Candyman chops his dinger off.
Yeah, Candyman's like, it's been a while. I need to get my subjects back in line. Wiener shop!
Why did he didn't kill him. The little boy, even Jake One Take Jake, is like, yeah, was a fate worse than death. So he didn't die. Why did Candyman chop that boy's wiener off?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Even if it's not the mythos Candyman, if it's the actual living, breathing Candyman who we're getting introduced to in 2 seconds, why did that Candyman chop off that little boy's wiener?
I think it was Homeless Harry.
Okay.
And he was in there and he's like a pervert and he gave him the chop.
Okay. And then threw it in the toilet. And then and then ran out of the bathroom without anybody seeing it. Because the other thing that One Take Jake explains is they hear the boy's screams. The entire shopping district runs outside. A tough guy goes in there and turns around immediately. His hair turned white. He was so freaked out. So there's not even anybody in the bathroom. Homeless Harry, they didn't see Homeless Harry walking out. They didn't see our fake Candyman walking out. They couldn't explain how this boy's penis came off.
It had to be the real Candyman, and he had just developed a minor case of wiener chopping lust. And then got over it real fast.
That doesn't line up with his character at all.
Yeah, well, maybe he was trying something new. Like Sam says, right? He's like, I want to try this so bad. It's been a long time. I'm just going to try to chop off somebody's wiener. And then he's like, oh my God, this is horrific. And I'm never going to do this to anybody again. I am so sorry, kid.
I feel real bad about this.
Just fucking scream. And somebody will come and put a Band-Aid on your wiener. I'm out.
I'm supposed to be the spirit of vengeance or something. I'm not really sure what my milieu is, but sorry about your dick, kid.
I really hope that medicine has gotten far enough to sew that back on. I was just thinking about it for a while, and I just thought, well, maybe I'll just reach my hook up through the toilet and cut off a wiener.
So you guys remember Lorena Bobbitt, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So when she did that, her husband was Trevor, basically. Probably didn't deserve to get his wiener chopped off, but anyway, she did. And then she was like, he's sitting there going, oh no, my penis. And she gets in the car and she's driving down the road, and she throws it out the window. That's how she got rid of the penis. That's how the cops found it. But what happened was there was a car driving down the other direction and it splattered against the windshield. And the little girl that was sitting next to her dad, he saw the penis and she's like, what was that, Daddy? And the dad's like, well, that was a bug. And she's like, that bug had a huge cock.
Oh my God.
Classic joke.
Such a dad joke.
True story.
True story. Okay.
I was the little girl. So Helen goes into the bathroom. She's like, okay, I'll check it out. And somebody has written poop. The sweet to the sweet. In poop.
In poo.
And not just any poo. This is really big, right? And it's not like it's a smear. This is somebody who has taken a shit and just shit by shit has just put it up there. Like they eat a lot of peanut butter and a lot of cheese. They know it's going to stick good and it's clumpy.
They even cared about what font it was in.
This is like the Renoir of poo writing.
Who did that?
It took me 3 weeks, but we got her, boys.
And then she's like going stall to stall. She opens up the last one, and there's an arrow pointing at the toilet in poop.
Mm-hmm.
Implying that it's Candyman who pooped and made poop art.
And he's like, I can't draw anymore, but I sure can shit and put it on the wall for you. And I crap bees.
She opens up the lid, and it's filled with bees.
Which immediately you're like, you get the fuck out of there. You have just disturbed their nest. You don't fucking, I gotta take some pictures of this shit. And then we see the hook.
Yeah. But let's go back to the pooping thing, because we just stumbled across something. I never put this together. I always thought maybe like the arrow was pointing like the Candyman lives in the toilet or something. Like go down there and he's like in the sewer or something. And she opens up and she's like, bees. I think you're right. I think he poops bees.
This is his private toilet.
And poop.
So that would explain the wiener chop, because this kid's using his private toilet. And he's like, nope, wiener chop.
Well, I thought maybe that was the explanation of the kid. Like, hey, you're pissing in my house, kid. Stop doing that. I'm chopping your wiener off so you stop peeing on me. But that doesn't line up.
No, this is a private bathroom.
That's
for the
where
Candyman.
Candyman poops.
And he's like, don't use my fucking toilet.
And sometimes he poops poop, and sometimes he poops bees.
Maybe he didn't, the kid like dribbled on the seat, and he's like, I have to sit in that litter, you little fucker.
Right. It's still a pee-pee vengeance.
Like, yeah.
I don't want you pissing him in this spot.
Dude, there's 2 other stalls. Pick
Use
one.
the 2 other stalls, kid. He would have been perfectly fine if it was just a total random... Okay, whatever.
And we know now that the Candyman does not flush.
Well, he doesn't poop in the toilet unless it's bees.
He poops the bees, but those bees were like racking themselves. I mean, they were at the top of the toilet.
It's all the way
time
to the
to
top.
flush.
Yeah.
Come on.
You filled it up, Candyman.
You're going to have to move to the next stall, and then we're going to have another wiener chop on our hands. So,
all right. So she turns around. There's some hoodlums there. One is the main drug dealer for the area. He's got a hook. That's his weapon of choice, his signature.
Because he's the Candyman that sells drugs.
And he has appropriated the name Candyman from the myth to frighten his enemies, I guess. So he's like, hey, white lady, bonk.
I think that this doesn't end with a bonk.
No, I don't think it does either. I think she's raped and murdered.
Yeah, I think she's gangbanged. She's left for dead. And then the little boy is the only one that comes in there and he's like, oh, motherfuck. And he just goes back to his thing.
He takes her cash
and her watch.
He's like, she's not going to make it. I've seen this before.
Yeah, the Candyman uses his hook to bonk her on the side of the head. He gives her a black eye. Whoa.
It's as we see in the next shot, it has been stitched shut. So he's done some damage.
It's a bad black eye.
And
it's a real rough one.
She's, kind of acting like, I've got arthritis and it's hard to get around. But I don't really believe that she's that hurt. But I don't believe that, I'm sorry, I don't believe that they've told you more than once to get the fuck out. They are not going to just bonk you in the head with a hook and leave you.
Say bye-bye. That was your warning. No, this guy is a killer. The cops now have a case on him. They're pinning Ruthie Jean's murder on him and a few others that were linked to the Candyman. This guy's going up the river.
Sort of, because they really only have evidence of one bonking. We got him now on aggravated assault.
Yeah.
He'll be in the can for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yep, good. And he will not find you after putting your name in the paper, because that's what happens to her. She is the one who has found the Candyman. She's pieced it all together, and the papers are like, oh my gosh, this lady, she's Jodie Foster, and she's in the local section, and now big publishers
we gotta get this book.
Like, no, that guy's gonna get out in 3 weeks. He now knows your name, stupid, and he is going to kill you and your family so you cannot testify.
But she's got
Trevor
pictures of the ghetto,
it.
so we don't have to go down there.
Right.
And it's going to sell books. I'm telling you.
She's a moron.
She also, after the police meeting, goes out to Jake, and he's like, it was supposed to be a secret. And she's like, it is a secret. And he's like, the newspaper people here. And she's like, don't worry, Jake. The Candyman's not real. And he goes, your face is telling a different story, lady.
So everything's going pretty good for her. Right? Other than the fact that this drug dealer is about to murder her in about 3 weeks. She's, her friends like, oh, Bernadette's like, oh my gosh, we're going to get published. Isn't this great? Oh.
And I only had to lose one eye.
Yep. And she's healing up though. And
my butthole is hanging out.
What?
My butthole intestines are hanging out.
I heard you, but what?
I have a surgery next week. They're going to put them back in. And It's going to totally be worth it, though, because we're getting published. We'll pop the champagne.
Are you implying that they gang raped her? Because that is not what happened in the movie.
I'm saying that that's what happened in the movie.
She would be dead in real life, Jackie. Period. The movie is over. In real life, she would be dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about her conversations about her butthole hanging out. She's dead in real life. That's not what happened in this movie.
Because her butthole fell out.
No. All right. So anyways, so she's walking to her car. Candyman shows up and he's like, Helen, I'm not... Why am I doing your voice? Helen, you be my victim. I'm the Candyman, but I'm better at voice acting than Justin is. And she's like, she goes into like a trance-like state. Like he's got her paralyzed-ish.
He's supposed to be hypnotizing her.
Mm-hmm.
The filmmaker thought that would be more menacing than just being a crazy slasher. And in fact, at one point they tried real hypnosis sessions on Virginia Madsen, and she immediately was like, knock this shit off, I hate it. But she's supposed to be hypnotized by the powers of the Candyman, so that's what happens, I guess.
And he sometimes uses telepathy and sometimes he talks out loud too.
Yep.
I think he borrows her car to get to the next scene. It's like, I can't be you there because the bees are on strike. Just get in your Fiesta. It gets pretty good gas mileage.
Candyman and a entranced woman driving down the highway.
Yep. Turn right here.
He's also a very snappy dresser. I would say that he is definitely the best dressed person in this movie.
Oh, yeah. He looks badass.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks cool. Tony Todd is a cool looking dude anyway, so. So she wakes up in the Ruthie Jean's neighbor's house. Anna Marie, I guess is the character name. She's in the bathroom. She's covered in blood.
Oh, no. Somebody has nicely laid her down on the floor and then put a jacket over her for comfort.
Right.
And they put her on the bathroom rug because, you don't want her to get cold.
Well, or somebody put her down? Okay. Either way, she wakes up on the floor with blood everywhere. And she thinks it's hers at first, but then she goes outside and she sees the dog has lost his head. And she's hearing screaming. The baby is not in its crib, but there's blood everywhere. And so she, like any logical thinking person, she picks up the murder weapon and then hits the mother in the shoulder with it.
Yep.
And then stands over her like a lunatic as the cops bust in. You're done. They would have shot her right then. So
it kind of seems like this dog blood is fucking everywhere.
It's
right?
everywhere, right?
And so do you think like she's like, a little cut here and onto the wall, right? And then she's like, I'm taking it to the next room, a little more cut. And just is blasting blood everywhere. She's like, the painting nightmare begins.
Okay, so your theory is already that Helen did the damage herself.
Well, no, she's not big enough to do this.
Okay.
That dog is huge.
No, that's a big dog. The Candyman had to cut the dog's head off and then grab it under his arms and just squeeze the blood all over the apartment, running around maniacally going, I'm still a painter. You guys like Jackson Pollock?
I'm with Sam. It's an art thing.
Okay.
Look at what I have created.
So she's arrested. She should have been shot right there. But she's like, I'd like to make my phone call. And so she calls home and Trevor's not there. It's 3 in the goddamn morning and Trevor's not home. Right. And so she has to spend the night in jail. But next morning, husband shows up and bails her out and takes her home. And they're like, yeah, they're trying to pin you with murder one here, but they don't have a body of the baby. They don't know where the baby is.
Yeah, they also gave her like a private cell and cigarettes. This is better than the Four Seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, even the toilet wasn't that bad.
And not to mention that during the interrogation, it's like, you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand? Do you? Answer me!
Scumbag!
Like, they don't fucking care if you squill your goddamn brains out. That's what they want.
Right.
So, it's like, the cops are being heroic, stoic.
Maybe that's another white-black thing that the movie's trying to do. that there's two justice systems.
Hey, wink, wink, white lady, don't talk.
Yeah, right.
If you want to walk, don't talk.
Mm-hmm.
He repeatedly asked her if she wants to talk to a lawyer.
Right.
Rather than a 53-hour interrogation that ends in a confession that they wrote that's only signed with an X by the person that they interrogated.
Yeah. Don't talk, Ferrugia Balk.
By the way, if you want to talk, don't walk. Or wait, if you want to walk, don't talk. Very popular slogan in St. Louis that got in trouble.
It got in trouble.
You're
naughty slogan.
Those billboards got in big trouble in St. Louis with the bar, and they were a pain in the ass with the cops and stuff. Right? They all got upset because it was like, can't tell people that.
The bar.
The people who do the law degree crap.
Why would they care?
Because
they're the ones that represent criminals. Or presumed criminals.
Well, if you're getting pressure from the government to be like, hey, you shut this shit down.
That doesn't make any sense, Jackie.
No, they got in trouble. Anyway.
Okay, all right. Maybe some of our St. Louis listeners could explain that to us. But I think Jackie's just telling stories. Anyways, so she's like, oh, man, stressful day. I need to take a bath. And she takes a bath, and nothing happens in the scene other than that her boobs are in it.
Boobs.
This is supposed to be like, my point about all this is people think this is highbrow shit, and it is not. There is gratuitous nudity in it just for the sake of gratuitous nudity.
Take off your sweater.
That scene worked.
Take off your bra.
You actually, because she's horrified and she, she's covered in blood and she wants the blood off of her, but she can't because she's got to go through this criminal process. That actually tracks.
Well, and
this
I thought we were going to
bathtub boob shot doesn't.
Well, and I thought we were going to
bathtub boobs, and later on when Stacy just has her tit parade,
right?
Like, well, I'm not leaving that on the roadside of horror.
Yeah.
Not gonna leave those tits out.
And what was sad is that Trevor traded in some nice ass titties for Stacy boobs. Like, oh man,
it's just he's got to keep them moving.
Oh God,
there's a turnover rate. Once you're Trevor's squeeze, the clock is ticking.
Once you discover Summer's Eve, it's over.
Summer's Eve
brings back freshness every time.
I don't know what any of this means. What are you even on tonight?
Summer's Eve is douche.
I get it. What does that have to do with Trevor's revolving door of Stacy's?
He likes the smelly crotch.
Okay, whatever.
He himself is the douche and wishes to be a physical representation. Doesn't make sense either.
Someone thinks you're funny. I am not sure who it is. So
if you do think I'm funny, write into Stinker Madness.
Okay, so she sees Candyman in one of her photos, and she's like, oh, wait, yeah, he was there. And then so she goes into the medicine cabinet, and she's like, are you there, Candyman? And he punches through the medicine cabinet. Hook hand and all. Punching his way in. She's like, ah! Runs out in the hallway. Oh, he's out in the hallway. Runs back in. Tries to call the police, but she can't because Candyman's there. He's everywhere.
It looks like she gets it dialed, but then she just kind of leaves the phone on the counter. So, technically, the police have all of this that is happening from this point forward on a recording.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. But we see what happens when you record Candyman later.
True.
And so he gives her a lecture kind of about like, so now nobody believes in me, which takes away my power, and you've royally screwed me over, lady, so be my victim. So you're Thor? Like you're the Marvel character Thor.
But at the beginning of the movie, all you have to do is say his name 5 times and then he kills you. For whatever reason, he's like, Helen, you did the thing you're supposed to do, but I'm just going to bother you and kill a bunch of other people, Helen.
Right. Why do you care, Candyman? Like, some guy got pinned for your murders. Okay, then go murder somebody else.
Well, here's the deal.
We find out later why.
Yeah. In abusive relationships, you eliminate people that can help and that will be a support system and tell you that what's happening to you is not okay. You start eliminating those people early so that you can isolate them.
And that's what Candyman is doing?
Yep.
He's in an abusive relationship?
Yep.
With who?
Helen.
She's abusing Candyman?
No, he is abusing her by killing off her friends and shit.
Why?
We'll find out at the end of this film.
Okay, all right. So Bernadette, she comes over. She's like, "Hey, I brought cookies." And Helen's like, "Don't come in here. Candyman is here." And she's like, "Oh, candy! You got candy in your house? All right, I'll come in." Cookies
Is
and
this
candy.
you just got out of jail candy? Because I heard that is the best.
And Bernadette gets Candyman. And the husband comes home and he finds a dead body in his living room and Helen in the bathroom floor holding a knife.
She's in the kitchen.
Whatever. She's covered in blood, holding the knife.
She's got a thing on the back of her neck.
Mm-hmm. He's like, "Oh, not good."
I'm kind of starting to think that you did kill the last dog and that maybe you stole a baby. I mean, are you a Dakini?
Yeah. No. Brownie.
A brownie. Yes. Thank you.
Uh,
Willow reference.
This looks bad, honey. I mean, what do you want to tell me something?
At this point, he's like, thank God we don't have pets.
Right?
Fuck.
Maybe they did.
That cat is gone.
We don't talk about the pets.
He hiked on the last chair he was ever going to hike on.
All right, so she gets put in the loony bin. Straight to the loony bin. And meanwhile, Candyman, this whole time, a month goes by. Meanwhile, Candyman is just hanging out with a baby.
We do see the scene where he sticks his finger in the baby's mouth, so maybe he is feeding it
Candyman
and like taking care of it.
is taking care of a baby this whole time.
Candyman is adequately taking care of a baby.
He doesn't have breasts. Therefore, he doesn't have milk. Therefore, he must go to the store and purchase some prepared formula for said baby. Candyman has a shopping list.
And he steals shit out of other people's apartments by using the mirror method.
I mean,
Because he doesn't have any fucking money.
once again, I want to remind everybody that people think this is a highbrow movie. It's respected. It's got a 70 Metacritic score and almost an 8 on Letterboxd. People think that this is good, and Candyman spends a month hanging out with a baby. No.
No, he's going to give this kid back after like a few hours.
Why did he say, like, "Helen, be mine," or "the kid gets it," or "I'll take the kid back if you don't be mine"? Or how about Candyman, you're a bad guy, kill the baby, okay? And be like, "Helen, be my slave." And she doesn't have a choice because she's hypnotized. It doesn't no. The baby doesn't need to exist. It's not a bartering tool for a real villain.
Well, and the thing is the baby cries a lot, right? Nobody thinks like, hey, that abandoned apartment,
right?
There's a baby crying
There's a
in
baby
there.
crying in it. That one that has all the holes in it so the sound could travel really easily. Baby crying in it. And it's next door to the mother of said baby.
And she's like, I don't hear anything.
God, where does that baby crying sound? Where is that? It's like there was a baby in my walls. That can't be.
I'll just tear down this mirror.
Yeah. I mean, no.
The medicine's not working.
It's so stupid. Okay. So a month later, Helen's still in the bin. And doctor's like, "Hey, come on in here. I want to check you out. We've kept you tranquilized this entire time." She's like, "I lost an entire month." He's like, "Yeah, that was really powerful stuff we were putting in your veins."
And we all raped you.
Yeah, we touched you in various spots. One guy came in and licked your face and said, "Huh." And then you stabbed him later with a needle. How does Sarah Connor kill that guy that licks her face? Or does the Terminator kill him? Terminator kills him.
No, I think she kills him.
Yeah, rams his balls so far up his neck. I want
she
my
breaks his neck,
applesauce.
I think, after she uses a paper clip to free herself.
Yeah, right. She's pretty badass. I like Sarah Connor. Anyways, so doctor's like, we're here to judge you to see if you can stand trial, if you're loony or not. And she's like, "Huh. Oh, well, I can clearly see your nuts," she said.
Oh my God. With that, I'm getting another beer. You
He's got
goddamn
some
weirdos.
Planters peanuts on his desk.
So he then shows her the footage, the video footage, the security camera footage of Candyman not being there when she was like, he's here, he's under the bed.
Which earlier in a scene, we see that Candyman can be photographed because she catches a snapshot of Candyman with the positive.
True. Good observation, Sam. Uh-huh. But she's the only one that sees that photo, too. So let's circle back. But good observation, but let's circle back to that. So she's like, I can prove Candyman exists. So she calls his name 5 times. He shows up, stabs the doctor, cuts his back open.
This was fun.
Yeah.
This is fun because the guy's dying with the blood and you're like, oh, this is going to be really subtle like the rest of the movie. But then it's not. Tony Todd stands up and he's just ripping him open. He's jerking around. You're like, whoa, Candyman, you're fucking that guy up. Yikes.
And it kind of seemed like he started from the butthole up.
Yeah. Well, that's what he says.
Yeah.
At the very beginning. Cut you from your groin to your gullet.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yep. That's how he does it. So he's like, you want to get out of here? And she's like, kind of. And so he takes her straps off and then he flies out the window. It looks
He does the weirdest, coolest fly out of a window backwards that makes like, he can do that too.
Right.
He can float. He can fly. He can hypnotize. May or may not be able to turn into bees. We'll get to that later.
What can't the Candyman do? The Candyman can.
Keep a tidy bathroom.
Okay, so she climbs out the window, and then she bangs on a door of another room, and she's like, let me in, and the RN's like, oh my god, what are you doing out there? You could have fallen. And then she kills the RN. Like, she pushes her down, and the lady's head bonks against the floor. She's dead. It's not a casual...
Or she's in the hospital.
Well, yeah, but with her brains leaking out?
There's no blood, so I'm just led to believe that she just kind of knocked her out.
Oh, no, I think that lady cracked her skull. She went down hard on the concrete floor. Like, there's even a shot of her head bouncing off. Yeah, she didn't make it. She's like, okay, bye. She steals her scrubs. She runs home, and sure as shit, there's fucking Stacy. She's already moved in, not even a month ago. How many days did Trevor wait before he was like, yeah, so she's in the bin. Come on over.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah, because they have been working on this.
They're remodeling.
Yeah, the remodel for a while. And obviously, she is the only one working on it because he's like,
what is he
I'm
doing?
in the shower.
He's just lounging around wearing a bathrobe watching her paint.
He's like, this is awesome.
He's just sitting in his office drinking.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And she's doing a shitty job painting the entire apartment pink.
Yeah, she's
so gross.
No logic to her painting method.
I just love pink. I love flamingos.
And Candyman's like, God damn it, these people that think they can paint. I can paint. All right. So she's like, you suck, Trevor. Bye-bye. And so I've got no place to go. I'm going to go to Candyman's house. And she finds murals of his origin story. And she's walking around. And then she finds Candyman taking a snooze.
He's having a Candyman nap.
The horror. Freddy didn't take naps. This is not scary.
And what happens if she would have taken a feather and like just
raising a child?
None of this is frightening. The Candyman is not scary. I'm sorry.
He had to take a nap because he's been raising a child for a month.
Papa needs a snooze.
The kid sleeps. I take a nap. You just don't get it until you have an infant.
God damn it. Also, my nipples hurt. So
they can't because he opens his jacket later and his nipples are bees.
Do you think he's trained the bees after a month to be like, go feed the baby?
Yeah.
Don't sting it in the face.
Yeah.
The bees are like, oh, God, I hate you so much.
More honey. Hey, baby, it's honey for dinner again.
Honey, I stung the kids.
Oh, boy. All right. So she stabs him to no effect. He wakes up and she's like, I'll let you go, or I'll let the baby go if you be my victim. And she's like, fine, I've got no place else to go. Whatever. Do what you got to do, Candyman.
Okay, so I'm going to burn a question because we just kind of went past this.
Okay.
Why didn't she Candyman Trevor and Sarah?
Yeah, I have this too. Like right now where she's super crazy, she's obviously not getting away with it. She has to go see the Candyman and give up. These two are murder freebies.
You guys are also, you're still, man, you really got a different take on this movie than I do, or that most people do. Let's circle back to that. So she's like, okay, fine, I'm yours. I give you myself to you, Candyman. And so he picks her up and lays her on a table, and then he gives her bees.
And this is one of my questions for later. I'll just do it now. Does he bee bang her?
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, because I remember and it's odd that I forget things about this movie. Having seen it so many times, I always remember this being the end of the movie. Like, that's it. He takes her. She's now killed by him. But no, there's like a whole bunch of movie after this. And I'm like scratching my head going, wait, she said that she'll be your victim. And you're like, it was always you, Helen. And then you like take bees from your mouth and put it into hers and rub her face and lean down. And it's obvious that like you guys are just making it in bees.
Bee bang. Maybe. I don't really know what the bees are.
Because it doesn't... She's not dead. Or anything. Like, get to another scene and I'm like, wait, this movie has more? I thought that was it.
That's the only possible thing is that... Or unless he's passing on his Candyman powers via bee. Like, you have to get smothered in bees like I was to become Candyman. What happens if you just accidentally get smothered in bees? Do you become Candyman? Is that how that works? How does Candyman work?
I don't know, because we're going to have other questions here soon.
Now let's
because
just keep
now
pushing through.
She's still alive.
She wakes up.
The baby's gone. And now Candyman has double-crossed her?
Right?
By putting the baby in the middle of the bonfire? What?
Yeah.
And she is starting to become her own Candyman because now she has a hay bale hook.
Well, that's the hook that she stabbed Candyman with. That's Candyman's
there was extra
spare hook.
Yeah, he's got spare hooks.
Even though he can't grab them. Because his hand is actually a hook.
Yeah.
You know, you think after so many years that would have kind of healed over.
Yeah. You might want to have that looked at, Candyman.
Yeah, it's still goopy.
Yeah, it's dripping pretty bad, pal.
It smells.
You're making a mess. Okay. So she sees the baby in Trash Mountain, and the One Take Jake is like, holy crap, Candyman's going into that Trash Mountain, because all he sees is the hook as she goes in. So he's like, everybody, Candyman's inside Trash Mountain. And they're like, well, finally, we've got that bastard cornered.
This was exactly why we built this thing.
We have been the Candyman trap has finally worked. Nobody's like, shut up, Jake, you dumb kid. They're like, grab the gas.
Well, and obviously this thing has been being built for a while. So they're like, we'll lure him out here with a sink. Okay, that didn't work.
Yep.
Who else has got something they can put on this pile? And then eventually they're like, it's a burn pile.
I've got a bumper from a 67 Oldsmobile.
Yeah. And they start calling it a burn pile because they're like, oh, God, this is just turned into trash.
It's Trash Mountain. And so she's in there. She's looking for the baby. She finds the baby, and they start burning the trash. And Candyman grabs her, and he's like, you can't get out. I can't get out. We're going to burn here together, Helen. And she's like, well, what about the baby? And he's like, fuck that baby. And
as is tradition.
Even though I raised it myself, it sucked from my bee nipple. And so she stabs him with the stick she gets her hands on, and she crawls out, hands the baby to the family or the mom, and then dies.
She gets Anakin Skywalkered.
She gets Anakin Skywalkered, yeah.
That's pretty gross.
She dies? Did she die?
Yeah.
She died from her burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they tried to pretty her up in the coffin with some flowers over her head.
I don't think
But I don't think you can do that.
I don't think she would have died. Like, have a bad day.
Depending on the amount of smoke she inhaled and
Oh yeah, I guess she could have died from
how
smoke inhalation.
severe the burns were, right?
Well, they weren't that severe.
Her skin crumpled
She looked
up
like
a
Anakin
marshmallow.
She
Skywalker.
looked like Anakin Skywalker, but yeah, you know,
We don't have Star Wars technology.
You don't.
And this is the 90s. So yeah, she's going to fucking die.
You need some balm for your back. Every now
There's
and
not
then.
like a piece of her ass that she can like wrap off and put on her face, okay?
You see burn victims all the time.
No, she died.
Well,
I think she could have died from smoke inhalation. That's a good cause of death, not the burns.
we also don't know the after effects of bee banging.
Yeah, bee banging.
Yeah.
She could have been in a compromised state.
Exactly. She needed an what's that called? Epinephrine pen.
Yeah, epinephrine.
Yeah, and didn't have one. But then she wakes up and she's trying to save this baby, and that combined with the burning and the smoke inhalation.
Yeah. She was not long for this world. Speaking of not long for this world, Candyman's still in the fire. He can't get out. And I think he explodes into bees. Burning bees.
Yeah.
Well, in one take, Jake sees him.
Does he?
Yeah, that's how he focuses in. He's like squinting his eyes and he's looking into the fire, and he could see the outline of the Candyman. And then bee explosion.
Exploded in burning bees. Okay. At Helen's funeral, all the project people, they show up, and little Jake tosses the Candyman claw in on her grave.
And the husband's like, "Oh fuck, we gotta get that out of there before we bury her.
Why?
I don't want her coming through the mirror again."
Trevor doesn't know about any of this stuff.
Yes, he
Trevor
does.
doesn't even know who these people are.
He knows about the Candyman.
He knows about what she said, the Candyman.
Yeah, but wonder if she's gonna become the new Candyman. I can't take that chance.
I think you're giving Trevor an awful lot of credit. Trevor is not a
Trevor's also
real
standing there with his Sarah girlfriend,
Stacy.
Stacy.
Stacy. But the professor of Candyman is also there.
Yeah, and he's like, "I told you that
Right.
this was gonna not turn out well.
You should have read my book.
But don't worry, I've got your picture, so I'll just I'll give you credit. I'll give you an honorable mention in the this book is dedicated to."
Yeah. Okay, so later, Trevor's sitting in the bathroom, wallowing in his self-loathing, and Stacy's like, "I'm making dinner, doo-dee-doo-dee-doo."
Yeah, and all of a sudden he fucking
She's
cares.
not.
He fucking
She's making a tit parade.
yeah, that's true. But all of a sudden he fucking cares about his wife that he had committed, that he knew was never going to come back,
Helen,
and that he had been cheating on for a long time, and now all of a sudden he fucking cares.
Helen. You say Helen's name 5 times in the mirror, she shows up. She did, and she kills Trevor.
With
She is the new Candyman.
the
Or
Candyman,
the Helen.
the new Candyman. She has the Candyman hook.
Right.
It's not even a generic one now. It's the one with the nails in it.
Yep. But she's not called Candy. She says Helen 5 times in the mirror.
Yeah.
Well, in all defense, I'm going to burn this question because we're at the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's questions time.
Okay, so Candyman gets burned, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't see the burninated version of the Candyman. Right.
Which time did he get burned? When he was alive as a human man or a candy man?
As a human man, right?
Okay.
They bee stinged him and then they burned him, right?
Okay.
Well, she gets burninated and dies.
Uh-huh.
And so now she has to be burninated victim for the rest of her fucking days?
That's true. That's true.
That's
Candyman's body was
bullshit.
burned up. And she might have died from bee banging and smoke inhalation. I don't think she died from fire. Why is she burned up and Candyman is not burned up?
Right. And
Because
why...
Freddy's burned up? Like, if Candyman had been Freddy-faced, they would have been like, dude, seriously? He's a guy that haunts your nightmares, and he's burned up? Like, and he's also Thor?
Yeah, so why do we have... Why does she have to be fucking disgusting afterwards?
That doesn't track at all. You're absolutely right. All right. I mean, where do we even start? Like...
I start with the major question. Is he bees?
Is he bees?
No, he's a meat sack with some
He's
bees.
bees.
No, because he
He
has...
blows up his bees. He has to be able to move about the city unnoticed. And when he dies at the end, bees fly out everywhere on fire. He's bees.
That's a pretty good point.
I don't think he's bees. I think he's just filled with bees.
But yeah, I see your point too, because he opens his coat and he's got like bones and muscle and skin.
Okay.
But he is turning into bees.
I figured it out. He is a bee that's filled with bees. He's not bees. He's just one bee.
He's the mega
that
bee.
has bees living inside of him, because he does have bee-like powers. When he hovers over her and is not caught on camera, even though he's caught on camera elsewhere, it's the only way he can do that. It's like a bee hovers over a petal, Bzzz.
But he doesn't make that sound.
You know what, Sam? Have you ever heard of Swarm, the Spider-Man villain?
I think so.
He came about in about 1996 or so. It was during the Clone Saga that everybody hated. And he is bees. And guess what his power is? Fear. Huh. He thrives on fear, and he is made of bees. He is bees. Like, dude, seriously, Marvel? Like, you couldn't even do, like, he's ants? He's man ant. No, he's seriously Candyman. It's like, dude.
He-Man and She-Ra also has...
Which makes Candyman bees.
Yeah, but I think he's just one bee filled with bees.
I'm pretty sure he's bees.
He's the hive.
Yeah, he could be the hive. That's a good point.
He's the hive.
Yeah.
He's like, come on to me and make honey.
Well,
don't sting my wiener or my butthole. But you guys can live in like the chest area.
If he's not bees, how does he get around with the disappearing act business?
Right. Well, bees don't just disappear. Actually, they do, sadly.
But you just don't notice. You don't care. You're like, bees, get away from that. But it's just Candyman going from place to place.
8 states.
As bees.
8 states in the United States right now no longer have bees. 8 of them. Bees have disappeared from 8 states. And we have a problem, Houston.
Which states? Do you know?
I didn't read the article.
You're a dick. Oh, my God.
It was while I was walking down the stairs to do this podcast.
It was on the Green Onion.
The Green Onion. Honey, if you don't know what something is, just don't talk about it.
It's the Green Onion. This is my made-up newspaper.
Okay, yeah. I think you made up the Onion, too. It just so happens that there is something called the Onion, and you have no idea what it's about.
It's a cha-cha-cha.
Okay, so if he's...
But let's say... Even if he isn't bees, why is she not bees?
Why is she not bees? He was murdered by bees. He did die from bees, not from being burned up. And she died from what they say is being burned up. Maybe you become what your death was.
Yeah, but she also had a bunch of fucking bee stings. So she's like a combo.
Yeah, but that was from the bee bang. That didn't kill her.
Oh, God.
What happens if you get Candyman by drowning? Do you become Hydro Man? Heart attacked Candyman. Like, do you become a heart attack? Is that like, it doesn't, it has to be one or the other.
You become your favorite
Well, she would be traveling
sodium.
She's going to be traveling smoke inhalation.
Right.
How does that even work?
It stinks up your apartment is what it does. And you're like, oh my gosh, she's back.
So, and also, what is he beyond the bees? Is he urban legend themselves? Because my point is that he is an urban legend. That's what his whole motivation is. But the razor blades and the candy, you don't see him dispersing that to the children on Halloween, but that was an urban legend. So is he all of the urban legends? Like if like that's where his power comes from. Even like the guy, the hook, the couple on Lover's Lane, and they get the hook guy, and then they make it home, they escape, and the hook is on the back of the bumper.
That was a mistake on his part when he was trying to expand, kind of like the penis chopping.
Right. But seriously though, is that what he is? Is he urban legend?
I think he's bees.
I think he is, because if we think about it, right, well, why bring in the whole scene where Helen goes in to her husband's class, right? And they're talking about urban legends.
Right.
I read it in a newspaper. I heard it from so-and-so. And she is obviously thinks that this is an urban legend, right? That she is researching and doing her business on, or her thesis on. So I think that it is, I am an urban legend, and unless I can continue to thrive and be talked about in whispers, I will die.
Right. So is he also like that lady that had spiders lay eggs in her beehive hair? Is he also that? Is that where the bees come from, Sam? Beehive hair? Urban legend? It just doesn't, none of it tracks. None of it lines up with anything. You can't make
his own
sense
thing.
of it. Yeah, but he's not. He's other things. He's Candy with razor blades.
He is a man that went against society, and we murderized him.
Okay.
And let that be a lesson to you, young man. Know your goddamn place.
Whoa.
That is what they're saying with this urban legend.
Who's saying that?
People.
I don't think so.
I think they are. I think they're saying, look, this guy, he crossed a boundary socially that you're not supposed to do. You don't have sex with a virgin without being married to her. And
that's why they murdered him, Jackie?
that's what I think.
Nope, that's not why they murdered him.
Why did they murder him then?
Because he was black. You ignoramus. Seriously.
I thought it was because she was a virgin and he wasn't going to marry her. Because they say that he's from a prestigious family. They've got money and wealth. And,
he had sex with the farmer's daughter as a black man.
Oh.
He was not supposed to do that.
Oh, fuck. That didn't even occur to me.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Wow. Anyways, I'll go with where Jackie's trying to go poorly. What does this film say socially? I know what it attempts to say. You've got gentrification here, obviously. You've got whitewashing of history. You've got, obviously, civil unrest with, as we just discussed, lack of equal rights, blah, 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 blah. You know, basically any social topic you can have, it tries to cram in here. But what does it actually say? Socially, is this whole thing a big metaphor that that people have said stop paying attention to because it's just Freddy knockoff? They're here for the hook hand murders. But is this film actually trying to be a social metaphor for something? Sam, I'm going to go to you first.
Well, that was the intent.
Okay.
That it was supposed to highlight the long-standing social inequality that had happened in the city of Chicago.
But what does that have to do with a serial killer with spooky powers?
Obviously, he's bees.
That's your only answer.
I think this is a public announcement for bees. Hey,
So
don't
we have to
fucking
go back
piss them off or they'll kill you with a hook.
He does this thing, which I can't... You were always the one, Helen. You're the only one. Is Helen the girl reincarnated, or is he... Because this is going to be like part of the whole social statement, because they become one in bees.
His message is written over a mural that he painted that focuses in on the farmer's daughter. It was always you, Helen, cut to his painting of the farmer's daughter. So yeah, I think either she is, or in his mind, she's his the Mummy's confusion with Rachel Weisz.
So it's just a tragic love story.
Or he's just a dipshit and thinks all white people look all the same.
No, she kind of looked like the mural. Come on.
Or Candyman has more in common with Trevor, and she's just the next Candyman Stacy.
Okay, so what were you trying to say that says socially?
Well, that would be like the sort of in your face of it is that an interracial relationship.
Right.
Even though it's sort of, it doesn't play on screen, I think, as hard as you want to, because she doesn't really like him, and they're in bees.
Their sex scene is bees.
Well, and the thing is, I think that Sam is kind of onto something here, is that if it was supposed to be a love tale about him finding her again after all these years, a reincarnation type thing, they really missed the boat.
They really missed the boat.
They touched on it, but really missed the boat. And then I felt like at the end when they were evangelicanizing her.
And evangelicanizing her is not a word.
Evangelical.
Is a religion, yes.
Her.
That is not a word. You mean making her angelic?
No. I mean making her God. Because, I mean, like, we see this picture.
Deitizing her is a word that you could use.
Deitizing. So, I mean, she's got, like, the lights and shit coming out of her head, and she's the baby saver, and she fights against evil, and that gives the people hope, which is...
No, she's the burnt goddess of hook murder.
Huh.
Candyman painted that, not the people. Not the project people. That's a Candyman original. The thing. So that's how he sees her.
That's kind of shit.
Yeah, it's real kind of shit. So since we can't answer anything, I've got a theory that you guys seem to really be lobbed onto that you didn't even state. Was it her all along? Does Candyman even exist? Or is she just a serial killer?
No, Candyman exists because of the bees exploding in the bonfire. The kid sees him. He shows up in a photo. Even though she only sees that photo, Jake does see Candyman in the fire.
I'm still not convinced that Jake sees Candyman in the fire.
And we see all the bees at the beginning of the movie. So I do believe that the Candyman is real, but she is a catalyst because once he figures out that she's around, he turns into the psycho boyfriend that tries to isolate her, remove all of her support functions, and then be like, you belong to me.
She has no way of killing the psychiatrist from the asshole up.
Yeah. But yeah, she's still going to get blamed for it.
Okay. I just think that it would be an interesting Tyler Durden theory. They're one and the same. He lives inside of her mind.
No.
Okay. All right. What else we got? Why is he dressed like a pimp? I mean, he looks cool. Don't get me wrong. It's snappy. But here's the deal. Does Candyman... I mean, he's been around for 150 years.
It kind of seemed to me with like the neck tie that he had that they were trying to go for a period piece.
I don't think that jacket is seriously like that's a pimp's jacket.
It's wool.
He's 70s. That's the period.
Yeah, it's wool.
Why?
And it's fur.
But why? Why is he dressed like a pimp? He's been doing this for 120 damn years. No.
Maybe once you become the Candyman, you can't change your clothes.
But then where did he get those clothes? If he's the Candyman in 1890, he couldn't have gotten a jacket from the 1970s and traveled it back in time to the 1890s. That is not how people dressed in the 1890s, Jackie. He's dressed like fucking Isaac Hayes.
Who the hell is that?
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. It's just, again, one of those like filmatic decisions that somebody made that doesn't work with the context of the film, and people blow this movie thinking it's highbrow. No, it's not.
Yeah, this movie is not highbrow. It is. I got a lot of plot holes like a Swiss cheese, and just look past that.
Yep.
Let's just go on to the bonfire that the baby is in, and yeah, things are collapsing. You might get out. But chances are she died with the baby in her arms in that fire.
Well, you know, it is extremely ambiguous, but I will give it some props. It's very artistically made. The pacing is solid, and the soundtrack is magnificent.
The soundtrack is really good.
So, yeah. It has more than 99% of horror movies just right there.
Right, sure, but okay, let me read you a 5-star review on Letterboxd. This is from Josh Lewis. Uses gentrification and academia in Chicago as an access point to the trauma of slavery being painted over in Reconstruction before jumping off into a moody urban folklore dream where historical pain is mythologized and martyred in the form of Tony Todd's Candyman, whose incredible physical presence, blah, 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 blah. That's the type of language that they are using to describe this film. So my question to you guys is, why do people like it? Why do people like this movie?
Okay, at the very beginning, I said that his implicit theme was solid and well delivered. That's what they like. It is an incoherent pile of B's by the end of it, because I was really halfway through this time. I was like, I think I got it figured out. And then by the Anakin Skywalker thing, I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this again? So the horror film gets lost. And the subtext never gets lost. The subtext is well delivered, and the film itself has a decent, solid feel all the way to. It's just completely incoherent on paper as a story.
Yeah, see, I think you're right that there's two movies here. There's a movie that tries to make some social statements and succeeds in that. And then on top of it, it's like a Da Vinci painting. There's a painting underneath it, but you don't see that painting because the Mona Lisa is on top. Except for in this one, what's on top is not the Mona Lisa. It's a very poorly written cliche horror movie. So yeah, that's what's happened here. The horror movie part of this is just as stupid as every other movie that you were comparing it to as far as a horror movie. It's the good film that's underneath it that is what you're appreciating.
Yeah. And there's no reason to, you can appreciate, you're allowed to appreciate subtext.
Yep. I like that explanation. Jackie, why don't we start with final recommendations if we're all ready? Why don't you go first?
I'm going to give it a do.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. It was fucking dumb, don't get me wrong. And it's slightly confusing, but...
Slightly confusing. We could not figure out what it was about.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Yes. But it is kind of scary, and it's a good Spooktober type of thing.
Okay.
And a nonsensical November, like you said earlier. So I'm going to give it a do. And I really like Tony Todd.
He's awesome.
I mean, he is just a badass.
Him and Lance Reddick should have a buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
Both be like, God, too much awesome voice acting.
And I mean, he just makes the whole movie for me. I mean, he's the pinnacle of what I envision a scary bad guy to look like in the face, like his facial features, the way that he contorts his face in certain scenes. That is what I expect a bad guy to do.
Okay.
And to sell it. And so I think that Tony Todd is fucking incredible, and I'm going to give it a do.
All right. I am not. I do not like the Candyman. I think it's very draggy. Honestly, 3 people die in this horror movie. And it's mostly just her wandering around with a confused look on her face. Tony Todd doesn't even show up until 60% of the movie is over. That's what you're coming for is Tony Todd. Well, guess what? Just skip to the end because he's not in the goddamn movie.
He's in the very first part with the bee bundle.
He has a 3-second off-screen dialogue. Great.
Yep. And then we can fast forward from there.
Yeah, no, I don't like this movie. I don't think that there's anything to show up for, even with Tony Todd. I would like to see the second and the third one because I imagine they get a little bit more loose with things. And Tony Todd's great, but this one, it tries to be Silence of the Lambs, and it is not. It is not even close as intelligent as that. Sam, to you.
Oh, wait, can I ask a question?
I can't. Sure.
Is Tony Todd in the other 2?
I hope so. It would be pretty stupid if it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
He's in the new one, too.
Oh, yeah.
Sam.
How do I give a don't to a movie that I've watched 5 times? I'm surprised you gave a don't to a movie that you've seen 3 times.
Every time I've been forced upon it by you. It's a good reason.
I am confused by it, but I think it's worth seeing. I also think that it grabs something that every fucking vampire movie tries to grab, is that sort of romanticized anti-hero in the villain. It actually works in this. Way better than it works in any of that vampire bullshit that never pulls it off.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think that it tries to, but he is not. If he was the spirit of racial injustice as vengeance, that would be the case. But seriously, you call him 3 times or 5 times in the mirror and he kills you.
He doesn't kill Heather.
Helen,
sorry. Doesn't kill Helen.
Right.
Because he recognizes her
my
as
long
the
lost
farm
love.
girl's or the farm guy's daughter. So Sam's right. It is this nostalgic, oh my God, there you are. I died for you. I die for you again. But I want to keep you with me for the rest of our lives.
Also,
for eternity.
I hope you like bees, because I'm bees now.
I am bees.
I like honey, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
Oh, God, the bees. Not the bees.
Also, Sandra watched it with me, and she was riveted through the whole thing. So even though it is a very slow-paced film, almost everybody that I've ever watched see it the first time, they make it through.
Okay.
Everybody makes it through Candyman.
Yeah.
And I stand by that it's better than 99% of the genre because the genre is so bad.
Yeah. All right, that's your show. Next up is my pick or Jackie's pick?
This was Sam's pick.
So it's yours?
Yep.
You just picked something.
Well, that's because you were a dickbag. And
You picked.
me and Sam had our own
you picked
little...
Dragonheart. You picked Dragonheart.
No, we had our own adventure. I think it's my turn again.
It's my turn.
Damn it.
It's Justin's pick.
I'll pick.
Shut up, Sam. I'm trying to get another pick.
I think I'm going to do Rumpelstiltskin if it's streaming.
Oh, boy.
Is that the one with the truck driver?
Yep. Truck driving Rumpelstiltskin.
Yep.
So if it's streaming, that will be the movie. If not, it will be a different horror movie that is streaming. Guys, have a great week. Hope you enjoyed the show and get to the chop.